Hi everyone, thanks so much for being here this evening. As Richard said, I'm here on behalf of the Young People's Puppet Theatre. Our challenging projects help children and young people develop confidence and resilience, as well as a huge range of creative skills. Since 2015, we have run over 50 projects in Hertfordshire and the surrounding counties, and we've worked with over 1,600 children and young people. So our projects have three parts. The first part is puppet making, where each child designs and makes their own marionette from scratch. They then move on to set design, where they work in small teams to paint backdrops and make props. The third part is rehearsals and performances, where every child in the class takes an equal role in making the show happen. That means they cover all the roles, from puppetry and voice acting to lighting, sound, stage management, and special effects. The shows themselves are presented on professional stages with full DMX lighting rigs, and as you can see, they look great. So the children clearly learn a huge range of creative and technical skills, but it's the other skills that really matter. In 2019, researchers from the University of Hertfordshire tracked 180 children across a puppet project and found that they gained skills including teamwork, communication, concentration, motivation, engagement with learning, confidence, resilience, and organisational skills, as well as many more. The children exceed even their own expectations of what they can achieve, as you can see here in this quote from a young participant who said, "It turned out so much better than I thought it would. This completely changed my opinion of school and what I could do." Natalie was a voice actor for her class's production of Macbeth. So that's kind of what we do. But why am I here tonight? Well, COVID has posed challenges for us all, and we've got an unusual proposition. We know from our ongoing work with schools that children are among those worst hit by the fallout of the pandemic. Even those who've been able to access virtual schooling have had to deal with the isolation and uncertainty of lockdown. But those children for who health, social, or financial reasons can't access online learning have had it much worse. Study after study is showing that the attainment gap between more advantaged pupils and their disadvantaged peers is widening. That gap was already bad before COVID. Hertfordshire might look like a wealthy county, but that hides the pockets of severe disadvantage that are often right next to the wealthiest areas. COVID has made these inequalities far worse. But children aren't the only ones affected by lockdown. Loneliness and isolation, as we've already heard, were already far too prevalent among older people in this area even before the pandemic, particularly among those facing financial or health difficulties. Lockdown has made both of those worse. So we have a plan, and I'm here tonight to ask you to join us in making that happen. Back in 2019, we ran our first ever intergenerational project. It was based on our projects for children, but it involved both children and older people working together. The puppets and the sets were designed by the children and then made by the older people. The children then took the puppets and sets and performed for the local community with the older puppet makers as guests of honour. The results were spectacular. The shows were fantastic, as you can see from the still from one of them, and the children gained all the same transferable skills that we see developing in our full project. It really was amazing. What was more amazing, though, was the effect that it had on the older volunteers, and here I'd like to tell you a story. Carol and Carol have been friends for 47 years, and they say they've never had an argument. In late 2018, one of them happened to come across an ad for older volunteers to build puppets for us, and she signed them both up. "Oh, you idiot," said her friend. "You know I don't do crafts." She was genuinely angry that her friend had signed them up for something that she couldn't do. But she came along to have a go, and it turned out that actually she could do crafts. The weekly sessions became a respite from caring for her husband, who has dementia, and she looked forward to them eagerly. Both Carols were immensely proud of the whole project and their involvement in it. I'll let their words speak for themselves. There's a video on our YouTube channel of them telling this story. It's very well worth a watch. So, with COVID hitting the young and the old, we want to make a difference for people like Natalie and the Carols. We want to post out puppet kits to a group of older people and give them the option to join online puppet making workshops to create that sense of community and respite that mattered so much to Carol in 2019. In June this year, the puppets they make will be handed over to Year 6 at a local primary school. Because of COVID, those children haven't had a full school year since Year 4. As they use the puppets to perform a live streamed show, the children will gain a set of transferable skills that will help them hugely as they prepare to transfer to secondary school. The bits for the project are ready to go, and we're just looking for funding to make it happen. We still have a total of £4,250 to raise to make this project happen. Every £30 you can give tonight brings another older person into the community of puppet makers. £100 would pay for a local artist whose work has largely been shut down during the pandemic to rehearse with the children for a day. £250 would hire us a van to get us our professional stage into the school for rehearsals. Every little bit will help us make a difference to the people who need us most in our local community. On behalf of the Natalies and the Carols, thank you in advance for your support.